Welcome back, everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to code the ball for our Pong game. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the ball, go to Edit. Let's take a quick reminder here that the type is ball and the name is ball for our object. Let's go to Physics down here in the bottom right and just make sure that your settings are similar to mine. Notice that the density and the friction are both down to their lowest value, and the bounce is all the way up at maximum. And you'll see that I have the collision shape set to circle. And let's see, I've also enabled rotation. You don't have to do this, but I thought since mine looked like a beach ball, that could be interesting. All right, let's go back to properties and let's click on behaviors. Let's start off up here with the triggers and let's add an always block. And let's go ahead and drag our code blocks up here so that way we can play test it later and we get a decent view. Okay, next we're going to come down here and go to the properties category, and we're going to go ahead and bring in two extractors. So click on extractor once, twice, and the second one is actually underneath the first one. So you can just click and drag it and you can move it up here. So an extractor basically pays attention to whatever you want it to. So it's pulling information from something, hence the name extractor. So then if you go ahead and you click on this, each extractor is going to pay attention to whatever is in this pop-up menu here. So this first extractor is going to pay attention to the x velocity of the ball. Okay, and it says right here, from this object. So click on OK. And then this extractor is going to pay attention to the y velocity of the ball. Okay, so remember x-axis is going horizontally, left and right. The y-axis is going up and down vertically. So again, these extractors are paying attention to where the ball is on the x and the y-axis. And now we can go ahead and connect those up. Simply the always to both extractors. Okay, so now we need to, these extractors are collecting where the ball is, but now we need some blocks that are going to really pay attention. So we're going to go ahead and get some filters. So we're going to go to the logic and math category, and we need two filters. So just click on it twice, 1, 2. And set them up here. Okay, and we want the value to go to the in and the value to go to the in. And you will see, it does say it right down here, it says greater than 0. Sometimes it's easy to forget that, but if I go ahead and click on it, you will see that it's now saying that it's always paying attention to the x and the y velocity. And when the filter says it is greater, it's receiving a value of greater than 0, then it's going to move it on to whatever block comes next. Okay, so now we need, it needs to feed into a number block because we need to have some sort of value over here. So I'm going to come back over here to logic and math, and I'm just going to go ahead and add in 2. And remember, they're right on top of each other. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab the whole bit of code here, just move it on down. And here's the way it's going to go. We're actually going to need a total of 4 numbers. And the reason why is we need a minimum number and a maximum number. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and call this min. And actually, whoops, this one's going to be, we'll make this one max. And I'm going to set this one for an initial value of, let's do 8. So again, you can click on the plus or the minus buttons if you want. I prefer just typing it in, it's a little faster. And then this one is going to be labeled min for minimum. And I'm going to type in -8. Okay, so each filter needs a minimum and a maximum. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these and do them down here. That way I don't have to do that so many times. So I'm going to come down here in the bottom left and click on this tool here, which allows you to select blocks. I'm going to drag a selection box around these two blocks here. I'm going to then choose copy, click in an open spot, and choose paste. And you don't know where they were, but that's because Flowlab puts them right on top of each other, which can get a little confusing. But you'll see now I've saved myself some work. They are labeled and they have the values in them, so I think that's faster than setting them all up from scratch. Okay, so now we need to basically have the from the filter block where it says pass, we need that to go to the in, and then from the fail, we need that to go to the in. So just like that. Okay, so again, we're going to go from the pass to the in and from the fail to the in. Okay, and take a moment here to organize your code. You really want it to look like a really nicely organized family tree or flowchart. Remember, you can always grab the parent block. This is the parent block. This is the child block because the child block is connected to the parent block. And take some time. It does make your coding experience a lot easier. And then you can move the entire tree of code here just by grabbing the root one, the main parent, the one and only parent here. Okay, so we're almost done. So we now need to go ahead and go to the properties category. We're going to go to the velocity block, and that's going to be our last one, and that's going to be just like this. Okay, so we're going to go here to these two numbers, and these are on the x-axis, so they're both going to go to x, just like that. And then these are for the y-axis, so we're going to go ahead and connect those up that way. And again, drag it out just a little bit so it's a little easier to see. And I'll go ahead and leave it there like that. Okay, so this would be a good point to pause the video. You could take a screenshot if you want, or just leave it there and go ahead and duplicate this. All right, so let's walk through the code one more time. So we've got an always block, so this is always happening once the game starts. We've got extractor blocks that are paying attention to the x velocity or the x speed and the y speed. Then when they're paying attention to those, they're saying that if the x speed is greater than 0 and if the y speed is greater than 0, it's going to then go ahead and set the x speed to a maximum value of 8. So it can only go as fast as 8, as high as 8, and it can only go as slow as -8. And it can only go as high as 8 on the y and as slow as -8 on the y. Okay? And then it all comes here to velocity to actually make it happen. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to move this out of the way. You can press play right here, and you can actually see it moving around. And we can actually move our paddle, and this is our very first time where you can actually see that it is Pong and it is happening. And I'm moving the paddle around, and it works. And this is the kind of thing where it puts a nice little smile on your face. So now you have to decide, okay, yay, it's working. But is it fast enough? And I feel like it needs to be a little bit faster. So I'm going to go ahead and change my values probably to 10 or 12, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I changed all the values. Let's press play one more time. And there we go. That's a little bit more challenging and exciting. And there we go. Again, you'll see it's really cool how they up there the wires between the blocks are showing you. It even shows you the values, which is very cool. You can even see some 11s and -11s in there. So kind of cool. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I hope you did this well, and I will see you in the next video.